Welcome back. Today we are making smoky jalapeno popper meatballs. And let me tell you, these are loaded with the cream cheese in the middle, just like you'd expect. Total fat bomb, absolutely worth it. Now we'll start by preparing the panade, which is a mixture of breadcrumbs and a lot of other ingredients to help keep the meatballs nice and moist, and it evenly distributes the seasonings throughout everything. So I've added a half cup of panko breadcrumbs, 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. We're gonna do 3 tablespoons of buttermilk, 1.5 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I think I said it right. You got 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now you can use fresh garlic if you want. I actually ran out, but you would want to use 4 cloves to equal 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. 1.5 teaspoons kosher salt, 1 teaspoon smoked paprika, then 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Now I like a little bit more black pepper, so you can sprinkle some on the outside. I might do that, we'll see. And then of course we want to add some jalapenos. So this one's a little angry, so it's gonna be spicier. So what I'd recommend is slice them really thin. We're gonna try to get a very fine dice, as you can see on the video here. Do add some seeds, don't remove the seeds, otherwise it's not very spicy. I cut up 3 large jalapenos with the seeds, fine dice. Then we've got 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. You gotta have cheddar cheese with jalapeno poppers. All right, and then what we're gonna do is just mix all of this up until it forms kind of this seasoned paste, and then we'll fold that into the ground beef. This is where all the flavor is. It smells incredible already. It should be pretty loose and moist like this. If it ends up being a little dry, depending on your breadcrumbs, just add another splash of milk or buttermilk. Okay, I've got the meat right out of the fridge. It's important that it's cold, otherwise the fat will start to melt as you're forming the meatballs. This is 80-20. You can use a mixture of pork and beef if you want, but I think that with the secret ingredient, bacon, it's just porky enough. So we'll add the panade in here. And then I've got half a pack of regular cut bacon. This is about 6 strips, roughly 6 ounces. Cooked, I just cooked it in the oven, 400 degrees, 20 minutes. I flipped, crumbled that up, and then you have got this awesome mixture of beef, bacon, jalapenos, cheddar, and don't worry, I didn't forget that cream cheese. So mix this kind of gently. You don't want to force it in there and get it really dense.
Get in there nice and deep.
But you want to make sure that the panade is evenly spread throughout the meat. All those childhood Play-Doh skills coming in handy. Okay, with the meat prepped, let's go ahead and get that cream cheese ready to go. Okay, so this really depends on the size of your meatballs, but I'm doing about golf ball size. So what you want to do is take an 8-ounce block of cream cheese, cut it in half, and then cut that half in half. I know, lots of math. And then cut those halves in half. Now from here, you can go ahead and just cut across, and we're gonna do small individual portions of the cream cheese, and I'll roll them into some little balls. And see, you'll just want a little ball, because what we're gonna do is fit this right inside the meatball, but it's way easier to prep this ahead of time, because once you've got the raw meat all over your hands, it's a pain to try to form the cream cheese balls. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the meatballs. So what I'll do is take enough that'll make about a golf ball size meatball. You wanna measure this out, it's roughly 1.5 ounces or so. Just form it in your hands. It's easiest to do it bare hand. Just push a thumb in the middle, grab a little cheese ball, shove it in that hole, and then close up the hole, and then just roll the ball again, and you're good to go. Rinse and repeat a few more times, and then all of a sudden you have a whole tray of cream cheese filled meatballs ready for the smoker. All right, so once the meatballs are formed, we're gonna go ahead and put them in the fridge. It gives them a chance to kind of firm up, hold their shape just a little bit, plus you gotta heat up the smoker anyway. So you can dust them with any kind of barbecue seasoning that you want. They are delicious on their own because we thoroughly seasoned them already. However, I like to sprinkle on a little bit of additional black pepper. It's just my style, so you do you, but there's plenty of salt, so I wouldn't add too much more at this point. All right, so I'm gonna go throw them in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. You can do them a couple hours at a time if you want to. Then we'll come back and heat up that smoker. All right, so the smoker is set to 265. You can go a little bit lower if you want a little extra smoke. As you can see, I'm putting a jerky mat in here so the meatballs don't get stuck to the grates or fall through, and we'll just go ahead and set them in here, put them in some nice rows, and then we'll let this smoke for an hour, maybe hour 15 minutes or so. We'll come back and check the temperature. We're looking for about 150, 155. Nighty night. All right, it's been just over an hour. Ooh, look at those. Not too shabby. These are running about 155-ish, and they're looking mighty juicy. These look so good. You can see all the textures right on there, the cheese, the jalapenos, the bacon. Oh, let's get these inside. I'm hungry. Okay, seriously, these look insane. They always amaze me how they look because of the textures and the smells that are just coming off of them. I gotta slice into one of these. I didn't really let these rest very long, so hopefully I don't burn the heck out of myself. Oh yeah. You can see all the textures in the meat. It's not densely packed, so it's gonna be really, really tender. And I mean, come on, look at that melty cream cheese. Right off the smoker, molten hot cheese, that's not gonna stop me. This right here is why it's worth making that panade, because you can see that it's not densely packed. There's lots of flavor bursting in here. It's nice and tender, so it just breaks apart really easily. And that's like my biggest problem with most meatballs. I just think that they're so dense. And granted, this has cream cheese in the middle, but still, the quality of the meat is awesome. For some variations on this, you could definitely bacon wrap them. I think that's a little much, but you do you. Another great option would be using one of my barbecue sauce recipes. You could glaze that at the very end, just like my smoked meatballs video. Dunk them in the sauce, put them right back on and get them nice, sticky and tacky, that sweet heat. Hope you guys try this recipe. This one is insane. Please leave a comment below if you do. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.